Good afternoon, and thank you once again for joining us for the Degree Completion Program's information session. At this time, I would like to go ahead and introduce our team members to you. My name is Michael Pierce, and I'm the Director of Extension Degree Completion Program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Rains, and I'm the Marketing Specialist for Degree Completion.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Whitmire, and I'm an academic advisor for the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts and the Degree Completion Program.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Cantu, and I'm the Financial Aid Advisor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Genesis Flores Renteria, and I'm the Degree Completion Registrar Specialist.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Rivera, and I am the Reentry Advisor.
And we also have Maria Cifuentes with us, who is our academic advisor alongside Elizabeth, and she is in the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts, and our Degree Completion Program Advisor. So your aspirations in completing your degree are very important to us, but we know that they're very important to you as well. And so we want to recognize that our program is here to help you manage and navigate this process of what it will take, where you can complete, when you can complete, and what resources you have available to achieve that aspiration of finishing your bachelor's degree. We also recognize that to you it's important because of personal satisfaction in showing or setting examples for siblings or other loved ones, as well as opportunities for expanded career and promotion advancements within your professional setting, which also leads to opportunities for higher salary levels to take care of your needs and resources long term. We encourage you, as you are not alone in this process. There are many students nationwide, but also here in the University of California system, in similar situations where they're navigating this process back to completing their degree and navigating the challenges or opportunities they have related to taking care of family members, working professionals, and generally just adult learners who are looking to finish that degree. I encourage you to take a look at Liliana's story. Liliana is a student who joined us back here in spring 2023 and is on her way to completing her degree in public health, and the story and the resources she was able to access through this program in order to help her make that decision of when and how to finish her degree.
Hi, everyone. So on this slide here, we are showing the 9 undergraduate campuses within the UC system, and kind of just stating that no matter where you have started within your degree path, if that may be from UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara, or UC Riverside, here at UC Merced within the degree completion program, we can help and support you in finishing your undergraduate degree. And then on to the next slide, we are talking more about our UC Merced student population. So 99% of UC Merced students are from California, 30% coming from Northern, 26% coming from our Central, and 40% coming from our Southern region as well, with that 0.4% of non-residential/international students. With the ultimate total of undergrad and graduate students, we have about 9,093 in total enrollment. And as well as our first generation status is going up in here at UC Merced, with 71% of all undergraduates, 66% within first year for first year students, and 71% for new transfer students as well, being first gen status. And then with our next slide, we are discussing the benefits of UC Merced. So the benefits would be those small class sizes. So with those small class sizes, there is a 21:1 student faculty ratio. So being able to have those small class sizes are very beneficial for students to feel a little less intimidated in a way where they're able to engage within their peers in small group environments and able to kind of interact with instructors as well. And if not that, just be from those small group classroom sizes or within office hours, kind of engaging and interacting with their instructors. And we as well have a diverse faculty, as with it being a 44% female faculty, 33% coming from minority groups, and 86% of our faculty having a PhD or equivalent degree as well. And then there is a QR code on the left side if you want to learn more about on-campus or off-campus housing, if that may interest you. And I will move on to Elizabeth.
All right, so our degree completion program supports a variety of students. So any UC Merced stop out can be a re-entry student here at UC Merced, but also non-UC Merced UC stop outs can transfer in as well. And they are program eligible. So any UC stop out is program eligible for our degree completion program. We do have 3 schools: natural science, engineering, social sciences, and humanities and arts. Myself and Maria as academic advisors are housed within the social sciences, humanities, and arts. But all re-entry students have support within the degree completion program. And we do support students in poor academic standing and academic dismissal, and helping them understand their plan in order to return and be accepted for re-entry. Our degree completion program does individualized graduation plans. So whether you are planning on returning to UC Merced, we can create a re-entry plan, or another UC. We can help you find out what that plan is going to be, or what that plan to get into that other UC is, to be able to return to your initial UC or to UC Merced. So you have a little bit of flexibility with helping you create that individualized plan. Our lower division flexibility comes with, we will, within your graduation plans or your re-entry plans, we will offer you a way to complete lower division work at the most flexible modality. So whether that be at a community college or returning to UC, whatever is easiest and most flexible for yourself. If there's that option, we will work that into your graduation plan. Also, final course requirements, we can work to make sure if you have only a few course requirements to complete, what will be the best option? Is it returning to UC Merced? Is it completing those courses somewhere else? Just to make it the easiest and quickest way for you to earn that undergraduate degree. So this is just a little bit of a flow chart of what it looks like to be able to re-enter. So on the left, we have good academic standing, poor academic standing, and academically dismissed being entered into UC Merced. Poor academic standing may have additional re-entry requirements, but we always take a look at what your remaining requirements are and base your re-entry plan on that. And so it would go through academic re-entry at UC Merced, the re-entry application. And then also we can look at a UC intercampus transfer student if we're coming from a different UC. So we would go through the transfer and UC undergraduate application, but then it can be within the degree completion program to help you finish that undergraduate degree here at UC Merced. And I will pass it to Michael.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And before we move on to financial aid, I just want to remind everyone that you can use the chat or the Q&A function in Zoom navigation toolbar to propose any questions that you might have for us. We have moderators who are willing to answer questions live, as well as folks that are available to answer questions back in chat. You can ask your questions at any time, and we'll stop at this point to see if there are any questions related to the degree completion program and what you've heard so far. I do have one question here. And perhaps Elizabeth, you can answer this question for me. And is if I can return and attend back to UC Merced part-time.
Yes, it's definitely possible to return part-time. Part of our re-entry acceptance into the Shaw School has an acceptance, and we developed that plan at the very beginning and put that blanket acceptance in place to be able to plan out what you're intending to finish in. So whether you're intending to finish while completing part-time, that can be worked into the acceptance into reentry.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And now I'll turn it over to Jessica to talk a little bit more about financial aid and financial resources.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica. I'm here to talk to you about financial aid. We know that finances are one of the main reasons that students might stop out in the first place or be hesitant to come back to school. So I'm here to help walk you through the financial aid process. We do know application fees, cost of attendance, it all can be challenging coming back, it can be intimidating. So I'm here to provide some one-on-one support to you, individualized support. I provide you all my direct contact information so you have a go-to financial aid representative to help you through it all. I'm fully dedicated to helping you succeed. So I'm here to provide that personalized support, help you review grants and loans you might be eligible for. We also have an Osher Foundation scholarship, which I'll talk a little bit more about the eligibility in the upcoming slides. The first place you're going to want to start to see what kind of aid you'll qualify for is filling out that FAFSA application or CADA application. This year, the applications are changing, so they are not going to be opening until the end of December. But it's really important that whichever application you qualify for, you want to complete it by March 2nd every year. This is the priority deadline, and you need to complete it by this date to be considered for all types of aid. There's different types of aid that might be federal, state, or institutional aid. If you file after this date, you would only be considered for federal aid, and you can lose out on a lot of free grants and scholarships. So just remember March 2nd every year. There's a QR code there to show you for the FAFSA application and then the California DREAM Act application. The FAFSA is going to be for U.S. citizens or eligible residents. And then the California DREAM Act might be for students who have been living here, but they're not considered citizens. There's different types of aid available to you. A lot of students, they don't know that student loans are considered a type of aid, but loans are one type of award you might be offered. Let's go ahead and start with grants. There might be state grants offered to you, such as the Cal Grant or the Middle Class Scholarship. We have our own institutional grant called the Bobcat Grant, and then federally, there's the Pell Grant. As far as loans, you might be offered federal subsidized or federal unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans are better because you will not accrue interest while you're in school, whereas with unsubsidized loan, that will accrue interest as soon as it's paid out to your student bill. With both loans, you don't have to start repaying them until after you graduate, or if you end up leaving the university for more than 6 months, it would go into repayment status then. There's federal work study offered to some students who do have the need for it. And this is basically like a part-time work schedule, 20 hours a week or less here on campus. And that can help provide wages to you every 2 weeks. It's just like working a regular job, but you're not having to pay taxes on them or report them at the end of the year. And then scholarships. So that could be institutional when you fill out your UC admissions application, your reentry application, and your FAFSA or CADA application. We will check to see what you might be considered for institutionally. And you can also apply for outside scholarships, which we can always meet and discuss if you need any assistance on applying for those or what resources you can access. And just to touch on 2 of our scholarship opportunities here institutionally, we do have a scholarship called the Osher Reentry Scholarship. The standard award for this is about $6,000 to help pay for tuition and fees. It's made for students who have a 5-year or more gap in their education who are returning back to school. There is a 3.0 minimum GPA, and you should demonstrate financial need. You would have to also make sure you do complete the FAFSA or CADA application by that March 2nd priority deadline. And then we have a continuing student scholarship. This is something that you would apply for once you re-enter. It's open in spring. So if you say you start in fall, then that following spring, you would apply for this, and you can apply it to the next academic year. And this standard award is $1,000. It's designed for students who have a 3.0 or higher GPA. So the higher GPA is given priority. It is more of a merit-based award. Full-time enrollment's required. And you would need to attend fall and spring of that following academic year to be eligible. You'd also need to make sure the FAFSA or CADA application is completed by March 2nd. And then you would also submit an additional continuing student scholarship application. This opens every year in spring on February 1st, and it also closes by the same March 2nd deadline as FAFSA or CADA. And then here's just to show you an estimated cost of attendance. You're kind of able to compare what it's like living on campus on the left versus off campus on the right. It breaks it down based off tuition and fees, room and board, or your housing and food. books and supplies, transportation, etc. The total cost there. So for example, let's look at the off campus on the right. It's showing $32,782 for the year. This is not considered direct costs, meaning we don't actually charge you $32,000. The direct costs that we're charging you are going to be your tuition and fees. If you chose to live on campus, then we would charge you your housing and meal plan. But if not, you wouldn't have any housing or meal charges. It would just be your tuition and fees. And if you choose to purchase the UC Ship on campus health insurance, that would also be charged to you. But this gives you an overall idea of what it might cost for the full year. And that's how much that we can award you in financial aid. We can award you up to that amount of your cost of attendance. And there is a little QR code on the right. It's an estimate. So you can go to our financial aid estimator just to kind of get an idea of what aid you might qualify for. And I will go ahead and pass it over to my colleague.
Yeah, so on this slide, we went ahead and just made a list of all the available majors here at UC Merced. We separated them by school. So if it's a school, social sciences, humanities, and arts, you'll get our direct support with a degree completion program with our academic advisors and so on and so forth. This is the school that we are partnered with. However, if you do want to major in engineering or natural sciences, we will support you and just guide you in the best direction that we can. But we do have a direct partnership with the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. I do want to highlight that if you are uncertain in what direction you kind of want to go, we do have an undeclared SHA major, which allows you to be undeclared for up to your first term being at UC Merced, and then you would have to decide after that if you're still in the weeds of your uncertainty. We also do want to highlight how to prepare yourself for the outside world, right? After college, after UC Merced, and what resources we have. So a huge resource on campus is the Center for Career and Professional Advancement. We highly recommend utilizing it, where they do resume prep, interview prep, and they do those one-on-one appointments to help direct you in whatever direction you want to go into career-wise. So it's a really huge resource on campus. So now how like the overall program will work. Your first step will basically to meet with me. Hi, I'm the reentry advisor, Erin. So I'll talk you through about the reentry process, the reentry application, if there are requirements for you prior to reentry, or if you just apply. Some deadlines that we do want to highlight are if you're looking for a spring reentry, right, which is going to be the earliest one you can do. Pretty much it's going to be, it opens May 1st and November 1st, or it ends November 1st every year. So if you're looking for spring 2024, you have until November 1st to submit that reentry application. Next is for a summer reentry student. You would have from November 1st to February 1st, and then for fall, November 1st to May 1st. So we have those deadlines, and you have quite a bit of time to complete those applications. And by meeting with me, I could walk you through exactly what's needed and how to prep for those applications. And then you meet with me, submit your application, then we could go ahead and talk about meeting with your financial aid advisor, academic advisors, enrolling you into courses, so on and so forth. So this overall program is designed to have the one-on-one individual plans for the students. This is kind of like a checklist of basically similar to what we covered in the last slide. You want to meet with me. You want to make sure you're collecting unofficial transcripts from any institution that you attended, not from UC Merced, just so that we are prepared to make sure we know that what requirements are needed and we could get you that individualized path created. You want to submit the application. You want to make sure you're submitting your FAFSA or CADA applications in a timely manner. And then we'll have you meet with me for reentry plans, your academic advisors for any requirements or registration for courses, and then your financial aid advisor for any financial aid concerns.
Thank you, Erin. At this time, I just want to share with you a few resources that are available to you as you explore this process. You can email us at any time to access any one of our team members at degreecompletion@ucmerced.edu. Also at our website, degreecompletion.ucmerced.edu, you can find a lot of the information we presented today, as well as additional resources and links to some of the resources that we discussed in this presentation. The most important step and anything you take away from today is to schedule that initial advising appointment with Erin as the reentry advisor. You can do that by booking directly with him at ucm.edu/DCP advising. And Aaron will be able to meet with you not only in the general time frame of 8 to 5, but as well as certain days after your potential work time between 5 to 9 p.m. and occasionally on Saturdays. If you are not able to identify a time that works best for you, please do email us at degreecompletion@ucmerced.edu, and we will go ahead and happily schedule a time that works best for you. You can also scan the QR code here on this screen, and you're welcome to follow us on any of our social media platforms to learn more about our programs and other opportunities that we might have. At this time, just a friendly reminder to go ahead and pop those questions in the Q&A, and we'll begin to answer the questions that have come in this far, and we'll be here until the very end of all your questions being answered. With that, I'm going to ask Aaron if you could please take this question. There's a question for modality. Are courses both in person and or online?
Yeah, so that's a very common question that does get asked, right? For right now, UC Merced does not have a fully remote, fully online bachelor's program. So for the fall and spring semesters, the online formality for courses is very limited. However, during the summer, so like for example, this past summer, we had about 66% of our Shaw courses that were offered during the summer being offered virtually, online, and also hybrid. So summer is a really good opportunity for those modalities, but for the fall and spring, it's very limited.
Thank you, Aaron. Another question, and I will ask Aaron if you don't mind again, and Elizabeth, but a question is, can I change my major when I return and once I'm back on campus as a re-enrolled student?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and tackle the first part of the returning process. If you want to go ahead and switch your major, since you last attended UC Merced. So that is an option. And when you apply during the reentry application, it does ask you if you do want to switch your major. During the appointment with me, I'll go ahead and look at if switching your major will change what requirements you might need to take prior to returning. So for example, if you were a psych major, but now you're switching to COGS, or you're switching to SNS or engineering, things like that, that will change what requirements, lower division requirements you needed to take. So I would recommend taking my community colleges first and prior to coming back. And that's how it will look like during the reentry process. If you are returned, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Elizabeth to talk about on the academic advising side what that looks like.
Sure. So once you have returned, most likely your major is declared, although like Aaron mentioned earlier, you could be undeclared. It's definitely a possibility to switch majors once you've returned. It'll just depend on how many requirements you have left, how many units you have left, and if it's possible to complete within the time frame that you've been approved for. But I would always recommend coming to meet with myself or Maria once you have returned if you're interested in switching, and we can always look over those plans and see whether it's possible or not, basically, and give you that individualized help with that.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And one question on financial aid, or actually I have two questions here, so Jessica, if you don't mind. The first question being, can I still receive financial aid if I'm enrolled part-time?
Yeah, you can still receive financial aid. What I tell students is awards are already, they're awarded based off of full-time enrollment. So if you are in 6 units or more, your awards would be prorated. So if you're in 6 to 11 units, I tell students that you want to try to be in at least 6 units to qualify for most of the awards. If you are in less than 6 units, then the only award you might qualify for would be a federal Pell Grant.
Thank you, Jessica. I will also add, if you are in and need to enroll in one course or maybe 2 courses, we have other mechanisms to take the course at reduced rates that as they don't have financial aid eligibility, but we're also happy to work with you to identify other forms of subsidized funding or scholarships to help cover the cost of your program. So, and Jessica, another question on financial aid, if you could help, please, is if I already have insurance, do I have to purchase insurance through UC Merced?
You don't necessarily have to. You do have the option to waive out of your health insurance. If that's the case, then you would be charged on your bill, and then there would be a waiver applied, so you wouldn't actually pay for that health insurance. You do want to work with the health department or the health center to go through that process. I do want to point out though, if you do have a high need, we might even be able to help pay for the on-campus health insurance based off of what that the need is. Like we can potentially give you more in a Bobcat grant, but it is case by case. I'd have to work with each student individually to determine what they might qualify for.
Excellent. Thank you. At this time, I'm seeing no further questions. Feel free to pop any of those final questions in chat or the Q&A function. But at this time, I would just, again, encourage you to schedule that appointment with our reentry advisor. This team, in a little over a year, has helped support over 370 students like yourself come back to enroll here at UC Merced or at another campus to finish those final requirements, with a little over 50 of those students finishing their degrees already. And so we're here to help you. We are not here to force you to come back to UC Merced, but to finish that degree in the best way possible. So please use that link, ucm.edu/DCP advising, so we can help you start this journey back. Thank you for attending, and we look forward to working with you soon.